Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are and whenever you may be watching this video. My name is Brian and this is Pete. We're the co-founders of Meeting Resolve, and we are here in the United States in our Virginia-based office with one focus in mind this evening, and that is you.
So stick with us throughout this short video because we're here to show you a few business secrets that will help you immediately grow your presence as a leader, accelerate your career, differentiate yourself from the rest of the pack, and improve the lives of your coworkers, clients, and colleagues.
Okay, hold on a second, Pete. Improve the lives of your coworkers, clients, and colleagues? What's all that about?
We know this may sound like a lofty promise, but it's not. It's about proven business fundamentals. So stick with us, and we're going to show you how to shine on one of the most important stages in business. Whether you're a new graduate beginning your career, a middle manager looking for an edge, or even if you're a seasoned executive, we are dedicated to helping you be better, save time, and look great in the process. So stick with us. You know, each workday, millions of business professionals are presented with a tremendous opportunity to perform in the spotlight of arguably the most important stage in the corporate world, the business meeting. In the US alone, there are over 11 million business meetings every day. Meetings create a unique opportunity unlike any other stage in business. An opportunity to lead, to impress, to engage, an opportunity to drive results, an opportunity to respect people's times. Or on the flip side, an opportunity to brace the status quo, blend in, waste, squander, and underwhelm. And unfortunately, most business professionals don't even realize that these opportunities even exist. They don't realize that their performance and the perceptions others have of them directly relates to their ability to run effective business meetings. The bottom line is that meetings will either expose or exalt your key talents. Leadership. Can you lead others and deliver results in an efficient and positive way? Organization. Are you prepared? Do you have your act together? Technical. Have you done your homework and do you know what you're talking about? Communication. Do you know how to get your message across and help others ensure that they can get their message across? The reality is the performance that you demonstrate while leading these business meetings will greatly impact others' perceptions of you, the opportunities that you are exposed to, and ultimately the velocity of your career and business growth. We're going to teach you a few essential things later in this video that will help you with that velocity, but we need to make sure we lay some groundwork first. So we have a question for you. What kind of impression are you leaving with your colleagues, coworkers, and clients today? Are you a superstar? The reality is that most meeting leaders bomb when presented with this opportunity. The research is clear. A large majority of meeting participants believe meetings are a significant waste of time and energy. A prominent study by Microsoft that surveyed 38,000 people in over 200 countries worldwide revealed that 69% of time spent in meetings was deemed to be unproductive. It's therefore a logical conclusion that the vast majority of the leaders leading these meetings are contributing to this unacceptable waste, and therefore are being exposed as not possessing the skills required to be effective meeting leaders.
While this is an unfortunate truth in our experience, the great news is that with so many meeting leaders failing to step up and lead great meetings, it creates an awesome way to differentiate yourself as an effective meeting leader by simply learning a proven system along with the skills and techniques for managing massively productive business meetings. You can shine in the spotlight and create an opportunity to grow in your career. Learning how to be an effective meeting leader will not only help you get the recognition you deserve, it will also enrich your coworkers, clients, and colleagues by eliminating wasted time and frustration in meetings, enable you to improve results, productivity, and accomplishment. As you implement the skills and techniques required to be an effective meeting leader, people will begin to see you in a new light. You will truly stand out from the rest of the crowd. Have you ever noticed a freshly washed car right after a snowstorm? How it stands out from the rest of the cars on the road that are covered in salt and dirt? The same is true for those who are outstanding meeting leaders. it leads to job opportunity and to promotional opportunity, new business opportunities. An individual who runs great meetings solidifies their leadership brand. This isn't just a bunch of hyperbole. We've experienced in our own careers the effect that being an outstanding meeting leader can have on our professional growth. In fact, we've experienced everything we just referenced: promotions, new business opportunities, speaking opportunities, training opportunities, leadership opportunities, and we want to help you do the same thing. Both Pete and I spent our early careers as professional project managers, leading large, complex projects in both the government and in the private sector. Like many of you, we suffered in conference rooms, just like yours. We sat through unproductive, unplanned, over-attended meetings that drove ambiguous outcomes while consuming most of our waking day. We saw action items and decisions and ideas spark to life, only to fade from a lack of follow-up and accountability. And there we saw the tremendous opportunity available if we could differentiate ourselves by addressing this problem. So finally we said, you know what, enough is enough. This is ridiculous, and we are part of the problem. So we started by developing a meeting process that we could use ourselves. We did extensive research. We modeled the best meeting leaders out there that we could find, and we studied the essential skills that every meeting leader needs to employ in order to run effective meetings. And we applied these principles firsthand to deliver results in the conference room, boardrooms, just like yours. And you know what? It actually worked. We received recognition and promotion and contract opportunities, largely in part to our ability to run great meetings. We have used this system to manage meetings from the boardroom to the mailroom and everything in between. Multi-million-dollar projects with some of the largest corporations and government agencies on the planet. And again, it worked. So we decided to write a book about it and put it on Amazon.com. We're selling hundreds and hundreds of copies of this book with no advertising. And recently we received a big order from a college that wanted to use our system and our book as part of their business communications course. And we said, hey, wait a minute. Why aren't we training people ourselves? Nobody loves meetings like Pete and I do. Nobody studies meetings like we do. Nobody knows meetings like we know meetings. And therefore, nobody is positioned to teach business professionals about leading great meetings like we can.
The bottom line is this: both Brian and I have worked as employees of large corporations and as independent contractors. In the corporate world, we spent time in the trenches, and we reached the executive levels by leveraging these tools and the resources. We also spent time in the consulting world, and we were able to command impressive contract rates by delivering value to our clients. We're not saying this to impress you, but we want to leave an impression with you that we know what we're talking about and we know how to help business professionals differentiate themselves in a job market that is ever more competitive and career ladders that are ever more difficult to scale. So enough of the background and the context. It's time to start sharing some of what we know with you. So let's transition into teaching you why meetings have been and continue to be a big problem for most organizations. We believe the fundamental reason why the meeting problem hasn't been solved is that most solutions are directed at fixing the wrong problems. The typical symptoms of bad meetings, some of the more common complaints we hear about meetings are too many meetings that are way too long. They're all talk and no action. They're poorly planned. People don't show up or they're late. There's too many people in our meetings. There's no follow-up after the meeting. Do these sound familiar to you? While this list is by no means complete, it is representative of the symptoms of ineffective meetings and poor meeting leadership. Let me repeat that. It is representative of the symptoms. These are not the root cause or underlying problems. If you're going to be the best of the best at leading meetings, you first need to understand the root cause problems. These are the problems that plague meetings, and once you know about them, you can avoid them and mitigate them. The 5 root cause problems that impact every meeting virtually every day, we call the 5 meeting killers. Simply being aware of these killers can have an immediate impact on the productivity of your meetings. So here we go. The 5 meeting killers. Meeting killer number 1 is ambiguity. The single most dangerous killer that lurks in your meetings and therefore impacts your meeting effectiveness is the ambiguity that exists in your meeting space. Uncertainty. Uncertainty leads to confusion, and confusion leads to inefficiency and waste. Ambiguity can impact every single aspect of your meeting performance, including not being clear about the objective of the meeting. Why are we here? Not being clear about when an action item is due. We will show you how to drive clarity in all aspects of your meetings. Meeting killer number 2. Meeting killer number 2 is a lack of accountability. A common killer of meeting performance involves a fundamental lack of personal accountability throughout the meeting process, both on the part of the meeting leader and the attendees or participants, who consistently show up late, unprepared, distracted, and ultimately contribute to the problem just as much as the meeting leader, who arrives without a thoughtful plan and approach for maximizing the use of stakeholders' precious time. The importance of creating a culture of accountability cannot be understated. Fostering accountability means holding attendees responsible to adhere to decisions, take action, and share information necessary to move the business forward. We're going to show you how to do just that. Meeting killer number 3 is inappropriate participation. Have you ever been in the meeting and looked around the room and wondered, why in the world are all these people in this meeting? Too many meeting participants bog down the meeting process, and it negatively impacts morale and the productivity. Part of the problem with overattendance is that the over-attendees often feel the need to say something just to justify their presence. This simply chews up precious time and hinders the productivity of the meeting. On the flip side, under-participation can also kill your meeting effectiveness. It is essential that the attendees who need to be there show up, because the obvious problem here is that if you end up losing the knowledge, experience, or decision-making authority that you're expecting from these attendees, then your meeting process is ultimately going to be undermined. The second problem is the risk that absent stakeholders have by not owning the decisions, actions, and other content generated during the meeting. And again, we're going to show you how to optimize attendance for your meetings and ultimately respect people's times. Meeting killer number 4 is inadequate process and training. Did you know that less than 1 in 10 business professionals have ever been trained in how to run an effective business meeting? 1 in 10. Can you imagine if only 1 in 10 airline pilots ever received training on how to fly an airplane? Imagine what the airport would look like. That's exactly what our meeting space looks like in the corporate world. The logic of flying in the back of the plane over many years prepares to allow you to pilot the plane is no less flawed logic than attending meetings over many years ultimately prepares you to lead them. It simply doesn't make sense. And the lack of process and training is killing the meeting process and our meeting leaders in the process. If you stick with us, you can be rest assured that meeting killer number 4 will never show up in any of your meetings. And finally, meeting killer number 5 is a lack of documented outcomes. Consider these questions. What content is generated in your meetings? Can you locate important information in your meetings easily? Are decisions and action items captured and shared in a timely manner? Do you have a central place for meeting information? Imagine going to a 9-inning baseball game without the scoreboard. There's a lot going on in a baseball game, and the scoreboard is where everybody, including the players, look to see the outcomes and the current status of the game. How many outs are there? How many runs? What inning is it? How many balls? How many strikes? Without the scoreboard, people get lost. They lose interest and they stop engaging in the game. It is no different with meetings. You have to keep score by documenting and communicating the outcomes so that people stay engaged.
So maybe you were thinking, I already know how to run great meetings. We have worked with many business leaders who thought they ran great meetings. In some cases, they were doing good things, but many times we found they lacked the entire package to deliver consistently great meetings. They didn't possess all the skills, tools, and techniques to be the best of the best. Perhaps you don't believe that running great meetings is going to get you anywhere in your current organization. If you don't believe demonstrating your ability to lead a group of people to achieve a specific goal won't get you noticed, then what will? Meetings provide a unique opportunity for you to demonstrate critical leadership competencies, communication skills, organizational skills, your subject matter expertise. In fact, in our next video, we're going to equip you with everything you need to know about an essential skill that will immediately improve your effectiveness as a meeting leader. We'll give you a hint. This skill is an ambiguity neutralizer. So if your meetings have a prevalence of ambiguity, and most of them certainly do, then you won't want to miss this next video, which will be done in a couple days. But in the meanwhile, we have a favor. In one word or phrase, we'd like you to describe a typical meeting in your organization. Also, if you have a great or funny meeting story, we'd love to hear about that too. So just scroll down to the bottom of this page and leave us that phrase or your stories in the comments, and we'd love to hear those. And just want to thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to talking with you on the next video. In the meanwhile, lead great meetings.